Hey guys, this is Mike Mahaffey, the old bastard BJJ guy, here for BJJ Mental Models. Back in my day, we had to walk uphill in the snow both ways to get to the academy just to learn some crappy technique from a random purple belt. You kids have it so easy because now you can just subscribe to BJJ Mental Models Premium and get tons of great audio courses to learn new techniques, enhance your mindset, and entertain yourself. You can even get personalized rolling reviews from some of your favorite BJJ Mental Models coaches, including me. It's like having your own seminar, you spoiled little whippersnappers. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe to BJJ Mental Models Premium right now, get off my lawn, and go train.
Hey, welcome to BJJ Mental Models. I'm Steve Kwan. BJJ Mental Models is your guide to a conceptual and intelligent jiu-jitsu approach. Back again here with another one of our mini episodes. Again, if you have missed the memo, these are quick introductions to some of the key mental models that we talked about on the show, just to give you a quicker way to ramp up on some of the big ideas that we've shared over the past 5 years of running such a popular jiu-jitsu podcast. Today, we're going to talk about alignment. Those who have listened to BJJ Mental Models for a while know exactly what this is and exactly why it's so important. We have discussed this at length on the main podcast. The first episode we ever did was about alignment. One of my favorite courses on our premium service with Rob Biernacki is about alignment. It's a really powerful framework for thinking simpler about jiu-jitsu. And it's one of those things like that, that scene in The Matrix where once you see the code, you can't unsee it. Alignment is like that too. Once you really understand this framework, you can't unsee it. You start to see how it applies to every aspect of jiu-jitsu, and it starts to really tie everything else together. Now, first though, before we talk about alignment, I want to give credit where it is due. Alignment is a concept that I first heard of from Rob Biernacki. To the best of my knowledge, he is the person who pioneered it. If you don't know Rob, he is the head instructor at Island Top Team. He recently won his first Black Belt World Championship, I think in Masters 4. And he is the founder of BJJ Concepts, one of my favorite video subscription academies that you can find out there. You will know, if you've listened to our show before, that I recommend his stuff all the time. He's one of my favorite guests to have on. So that said, Rob is the creator of this framework, but let's talk about what it is. So the way that Rob explained this is that he was looking for kind of an idea that could tie together all aspects of jiu-jitsu into a single simple concept to make it easier to understand. Now, I don't think he's completely done that for reasons I will get into probably a bit later on, but I think he's mostly done that. And I think for the vast majority of people out there, especially beginners, if they start thinking of jiu-jitsu in terms of alignment, they will find that everything becomes easier almost immediately. Similarly though, even advanced black belt grapplers get a lot of value out of thinking in this framework. I first discovered alignment when I was already a black belt, and it helped me a lot. It also has helped a lot of our listeners as well. So I think that regardless of who you are or what the stage is in your journey, you will get value out of alignment. Now, to understand what alignment is, first you need to listen to the 3 mini episodes that we've already recorded. So if you have not done that yet, I recommend going back further into the feed and listening to those. That would be mini episode 1 on base, mini episode 2 on posture, and mini episode 3 on structure. Now, for a quick refresher, if you have already listened to those, base means your ability to generate and absorb force relative to your goals. So this is how you're pushing off of platforms and moving your weight around. Posture is your ability to effectively use your spine. This means, is your spine straight and powerful, or is it twisted? And finally, structure means your ability to effectively utilize your arms and your legs. And so this means, are your arms and legs in athletic positions where you can maximize the power of your muscles, or are they twisted into unathletic positions where that's not possible? So base, posture, and structure are the 3 pieces of alignment. And what Rob basically says is that jiu-jitsu is a game of preserving your alignment while breaking your opponents. That's ultimately, if you were to ask someone mechanically speaking, how can you explain jiu-jitsu in one simple sentence? There it is. Jiu-jitsu is a game of maintaining your alignment while breaking your opponents. And the order there is very important because you want to maintain your alignment first and foremost. I would not even suggest thinking about trying to break your opponent's alignment if yours is compromised. This is a beginner mistake where they try to make moves happen when they're already out of alignment. Don't do that. focus on your alignment first. So with that said, let's talk then about alignment and what it is. Rob says that the three components of alignment are the big ideas that we talked about already: base, posture, and structure. And what he is saying is that at any given point in time, regardless of the move you're doing or the position that you're in, your goal should be to maintain your base, posture, and structure. And if you've done that, then your goal should be to break your opponent's base, posture, and structure. Now, why does all of this matter? It matters because jiu-jitsu can be tremendously complicated. There are so many things that can be happening in a roll, and one of the biggest problems that beginners often have is that they can't remember in the moment where all of the parts of their body are supposed to be. And even for more advanced grapplers, there's always going to be a situation you haven't seen before, or maybe your opponent is just moving so quickly that it's hard for you to think in time. There is an amazing quote by Saulo Ribeiro where he talks about this and the importance of not thinking when you're training. The idea is if you have to stop to think about what you're doing, you're already too late. And so part of the goal of jiu-jitsu is to be able to make good decisions quickly enough that you can be effective. If you know all of the moves perfectly, but you have to stop and try to recall every single step, you are going to be too slow to make the moves work, even if you theoretically know how to do them. So a big part of jiu-jitsu is not memorizing every technique, it is being able to make better decisions quickly. The power of alignment is that you can make decisions very quickly because there's only three things you need to keep in your head at any given point in time: base, posture, and structure. Otherwise, think about all of the weird things that can happen in jiu-jitsu. If you look at jiu-jitsu through a lens of techniques, you are going to always be trying to recall, okay, what do I have to do with my left hand, left foot, right foot, my neck? Should I be postured up, down? It can be really difficult to make good decisions on the spot if you've got a lot of variables in your head. The example I always give is think of public speaking. A good public speaker knows that public speaking is about knowing the big ideas, the big points you want to hit, and then improvising the rest theatrically. If you try to do a public speech where you just memorize everything word for word, that will almost never work. First of all, because you're probably going to make a mistake at some point. You're probably going to forget something. And if you do, it's a lot harder to get back on track if you attempted to do the speech by memorizing every single word. But also, if your method for delivering a speech is to memorize and regurgitate every single word, if something happens that you're not prepared for, you won't be able to deal with it. So for example, if, something distracts you mid-sentence, or if someone asks a question you weren't prepared for, it can be very hard to deal with that gracefully if you had attempted to memorize and script everything. And jiu-jitsu is very much like that, because in jiu-jitsu, you cannot script what's going to happen. You have very little control over what your opponent is going to try to do. So if your entire game is based on memorization, that can be a really losing pattern because you can't always know what your opponent is going to do. And even if you are able to memorize what they're going to do and guess at it correctly, it's still really hard to, in the moment, memorize all of those steps. And by thinking slower, you're going to react slower and you're going to grapple less effectively because you were slower. So really the goal of alignment is better, faster, quicker, simpler decisions. And how does it work? Simple. At any given point in time, regardless of where you are, what position you're in, always ask yourself these three questions. Do I have base? Do I have posture? Do I have structure? And again, if you've got some confusion around those definitions, go back and check the mini episodes we put into the feed earlier because they will explain that. I will also link to those, as well as some longer form chats about alignment in our show notes, so you can check that as well. But that's basically all you have to do. For example, if I am sitting in your guard, I just want to be asking myself, do I have base? Am I able to generate and absorb force? Do I have posture? Am I able to effectively utilize my spine? Do I have structure? Am I effectively able to utilize my arms and my legs? If the answer to any of those questions is no, I have to fix that. And then, once my alignment is where I want it to be, I can start focusing on attacking your alignment. I can start taking away your base by denying you the ability to put parts of your body on the floor. I can start attacking your posture by trying to fold you up or by trying to twist your spine. I can attack your structure by trying to move your arms and legs across your body. There's a lot of things that you can do. And exactly what you do doesn't matter so much as the fact that you are maintaining your alignment while breaking the other person's. Now, If this was a lot to absorb, the good news is we have a lot more conversation about alignment at BJJ Mental Models, and we go into a lot more depth. These minis are intended to only be a surface level explanation of what these things are. If you really want to better understand this stuff, there's a few places you're going to want to check out. First of all, listen to BJJ Mental Models episode number 1 on alignment. Second of all, listen to BJJ Mental Models episode number 50 on alignment, but this time featuring Rob Biernacki. Thirdly, grab our Jiu-Jitsu for Imbeciles course. It's part of being a BJJ Mental Models Premium member, so if you sign up for that at bjjmentalmodels.com, you'll get it for free. And then fourth of all, really the best person to learn this from is Rob Biernacki. So if you're not already a subscriber to BJJ Concepts, go to bjjconcepts.net and check it out. Again, I'll put those links in the show notes to make it easy for you to find them, but hopefully between the minis we've had on these conversations, the full-length episodes in the main feed about alignment, and the premium course we made, that's enough material to get you going. And hopefully this is an idea that really accelerates your ability to perform in the moment, even when you don't really understand the situation you're in during a roll. I'd love to hear from you as to whether this was helpful. So as always, please do reach out and let me know. The contact information for us is on bjjmentalmodels.com, and I look forward to talking to you in the next episode.